Welcome back to Let's Play BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. And now it's time for Rachel Alucard's story, Bystander. Moonlight shines gently on the courtyard. The air is heavy with the scent of roses and black tea. Nice change of pace to see the series of events from the perspective of one who has actually been fairly prominent in the previous stories of Ragnar the Blood Edge, Jin Kisaragi, and Noel Vermilion. The wind gently caresses the leaves, and I can vaguely hear the almost systematic breaths of people sleeping. A dreadfully normal day has begun. The routine has started once again. It's nice and peaceful, but still. Yes, indeed, Rachel Alucard is more than familiar now about the time shift phenomenon that is currently condemning the people of this world to relive the same events over and over and over again. But exactly how Rachel is aware of this is one of many mysteries that will inevitably be revealed, though I can certainly tell you that it's not reading Steiner.
I'm bored.
And Rachel actually belying her nature there, because even though she's long-lived by human standards, in terms of vampiric standards, Rachel Alucard is still invariably a child at heart. And once again my controller is getting stuck.
Do you feel tired, madam?
And Valkenhayn with the compliments, always acting as a pillar of support.
No, not really.
I do hope that is the truth.
Indeed. It is very hard to actually swindle one such as Valkenhayn, and even Rachel Alucard should know better than to lie to her own butler.
Thank you. Today's tea is exquisite.
Of course, it goes without saying that Valkenhayn is perhaps the only individual alive whom Rachel Alucard would ever deign to give compliments to, and for good reason.
You are too kind, madam. Today's tea has been imported from Amaruga. I thought perhaps you would appreciate its rich aroma.
Graceful and composed as always, eh, Valkenhayn? Not that I would know myself, because, well, I'm not so much a connoisseur of tea as Rachel Alucard seems to be. I'm not very fond of tea myself.
I see. I do detect a subtle difference in flavor.
Quite the connoisseur when it comes to consuming tea, it seems. Also, Rachel Alucard is the only vampire I'm aware of who actually drinks tea. And that was a truly ominous sensation.
What the deuce?
And even Valkenhayn could tell.
Madam Rachel, is something amiss?
No. I'm fine. My nerves, you see.
And we actually get a very rare glimpse of Rachel Alucard being taken by surprise. A very rare instance indeed. And of course, if Ragnar were here, he'd never let her live it down. Because even he, neither he nor Valkenhayn would ever accept that excuse from Rachel of all people. So it's very uncharacteristic of her.
If you wish to rest, I will see to it that the bedchamber is made ready for you straight away.
Of course, Valkenhayn, ever the erudite manservant.
I appreciate the concern, Valkenhayn, but all that I require is more tea.
Is that so?
Of course, madam. I shall prepare a second pot post-haste.
And so he goes. And, you can actually see that Nago is sleeping rather peacefully, although I'm sure that won't last long. And there's no sign of Guy, which means that, well, that creature is probably sleeping somewhere in the rose garden here. And, yeah, really liking the Halloween decor of Rachel's manor, or should I say castle, given the looming towers. And by the way, the main center of the manor there would definitely put Batman to shame. I look up at the sky, at the moon shining like a lustrous pearl in the heavens, surrounded by its retinue of shimmering stars. Yes, indeed, you can see the moon high up there at the in the sky. A moon that a certain hero of Ikaruga would claim is destined to fall on him one day. A man afraid not of the sky falling, but the moon. But it is one of those stars that interests me, not their lord, the moon. A star of ill omen. A star that shines its brightest when the earth is on the brink of destruction. As I look at that star, I realize it has moved, but only ever so slightly.
The stars.
Indeed, it seems that Rachel actually does have a particular appreciation for the stars in the night sky as much as Jin Kisaragi does, which is interesting. I know what it means. I know that once again, the time has come. I know that once again, that terrible thing will make its debut. Because that particular star is not a star. It is in fact the ominous satellite weapon that we all witnessed in the introduction cinematic of BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. A star that, satellite that devastated the underground research facility elsewhere, and as we actually saw in Ragnar's story, it also, consumed the hierarchical city of Kagutsuchi itself. I know that once again, the world is about to end. I stand and delicately prod Nago and Guy with my foot.
Ow!
Ow! That'll hurt, Princess!
There you are, Guy, as I surmised.
Do you do anything but sleep? Come, we're going out.
Seems Rachel Alucard has a mind set on matters.
Going out? But we just got back. We usually get some time to relax before we have to go out again.
Alas, Guy, not this time.
The situation has changed. Get ready. Now.
And Rachel's tone will brook no argument from her familiars.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, but the time has come for us to act, right? Oh my goodness.
And again, apologies for the rather slow text scroll there. Sadly, there is absolutely nothing I can do about it, I'm afraid. My apologies. But it seems that Nago is actually slightly more aware of the situation than Guy is, which implies a slight, more acute intellect.
I am not sure myself, but that is what I intend to find out. It has been a while since I felt this kind of excitement.
And teleportation. Away she goes.
Your tea, madam.
Ah, it never failed. You make a fresh drink for someone, and when you return with it, they're not there. That's always the way, isn't it?
Gone already? They grow up so fast.
Then again, Rachel is a vampire, so I'm not really entirely sure about the accuracy of that statement there, Valkenhayn.
A shame this tea shall go to waste. Ah, well, a good house is a tidy house.
Yes, indeed. Well, you could always preserve it for a little bit longer. There's no need to throw it out right away.
Hmm?
Yet another ominous sound.
Long time no see, old man.
And lo and behold, it's an emerald, I want to say ghost, wraith, spectre, something incorporeal there, as you can see by the shimmering of its appearance, but well, Ragnar the Blood-Edged did mention how he hated dealing with ghosts, so we were bound to run into one sooner or later. But this one seems to be particularly familiar with Valkenhayn.
You have changed little, I see. No sense of propriety whatsoever.
And given Valkenhayn's response and actions, I would say that my guess was right on the money.
A man such as you is not welcome in a place such as this. I would humbly request that you leave. Immediately.
Whatever this entity is, Valkenhayn despises it more than Ragnar the Blood-Edge.
Hey now, don't be so cold. Don't we go way back?
Seems that they're more familiar with each other than I thought.
I've had to spend hours surrounded by the stench of these flowers, because I don't want to see that damn vampire.
Yes, it's finally coming back to me. Remember that flashback with Ragnar the Blood-Edge and the destruction of the church where he grew up? Yeah. This spirit right here is the very silhouette that Ragnar glimpsed shortly before his right arm was unfortunately cut off. Yeah. So, well, given the fact that this entity is a ghost, one actually has to wonder, did this spirit somehow take possession of Jin Kisaragi during that time? And we actually still don't know what happened to Saya. She's still missing as well. But, well, you don't need to tell me, you don't need me to tell you that, this ghost right here is bad news. And, yeah.
I'm terribly sorry. Perhaps you did not hear me. I believe I asked you to leave.
And Valkenhayn baring his teeth against this malevolent spirit. And this is some very sharp teeth there, I must say, for a butler. But minor spoiler warning here, adventurers. Valkenhayn, despite being servant to a vampire, is not a vampire himself.
Just forget it, man. There's no use. You should know that.
What are you, Silver the Hedgehog all of a sudden now? But yes, ghosts are incorporeal. You can't cut them, injure them, or any way, shape, or form. Well, magic, however, might actually be a different story, but, yeah.
Don't tell me you're going senile. Oh, did I hit a nerve? You're mad at me for telling the truth? What kind of logic is that?
You just live to get on people's nerves, don't you?
Oh, you want to keep going? Just when I thought you had calmed down, you start cleaning. As square as always. Huh?
Enough! What do you want?
Yeah, that is a good question. Why are you here, in particular?
Nothing really. I was just wondering if you realized yet.
What on earth are you talking about?
The stars are moving.
That's a terrible sign. It seems that whatever the spirit is, it too is aware of the nature of the satellite orbiting the heavens right about now.
Poppycock!
I hope your precious little lady is all right. Well, that's all I really wanted to say. See you around.
Really? That's, you just show up out of nowhere to deliver some cryptic BS and then you just disappear? Also, something else is also coming back into mind. During one of Noel Vermillion's endings, Rachel Alucard was talking to Hazama of the Inner World's Intelligence Division, and she made the rather curious comment that she didn't wish to see him ever again. To which Hazama supposedly feigned ignorance, but he too seems to be more clued in on matters than he is revealing at this time. But, I believe that this spirit is the him that Rachel was referring to, but, again, minor spoiler warning. This, incorporeal entity right here is not Hazama himself. And he vanishes.
Oh dear. Perhaps old age is getting the better of me.
Perhaps it is, but, you couldn't have failed to notice Rachel's, actions in the previous moments.
I did not notice. I am on my way, Madam Rachel. I pray for your safety.
Well, points on your devotion to your master, and yet I doubt that Rachel would actually be pleased at having her manor unguarded. But oh well.
How barren. How did we end up here?
And it seems that Rachel has reappeared in the port of Kagutsuchi, where the inner well usually arrives. And it's daylight, and of course, as you can see, Rachel isn't turning into a immolating pile of ashes from the sun, which just shows how powerful she is as a vampire. Or maybe something else is at work. Either way, that's a bit of a moot point. But, going to end this episode of Let's Play BlazBlue Calamity Trigger for the time being, and when we return, we shall see what awaits Rachel in the next episode. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.